All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about a whole new playbook for a completely new era of search. For, 2 decades now, we've all been playing the game of SEO. But guess what? A massive shift, all driven by AI, is rewriting every single rule we thought we knew.
Seriously, just think about that for a second. What if everything you've ever learned about getting found online just, poof, became obsolete overnight? It sounds a little crazy, I know, but that's the reality we are waking up to right now.
And the reason for this giant change is actually pretty simple. Your customers, your audience, well, they're not just looking for a list of blue links to click anymore. Nope. They're turning to tools like Google's AI overviews, to ChatGPT, and they want direct, synthesized answers to their questions right then and there.
And this creates a huge new problem for all of us. You see, in this new world of zero-click answers, if your brand isn't the actual source that the AI cites, you're basically invisible. The click is gone, and with it, the entire old way of getting noticed has vanished.
So yeah, this isn't just some small tremor we're feeling. This is a full-blown seismic shift in how information works. We're calling it the search engine quake, and it is making that old marketing playbook completely and utterly obsolete. So the goal is no longer just getting someone, anyone, to click on your link. The new imperative, the new grand prize, is to have the AI itself point its finger directly at you and say, this is the trusted, authoritative source for this information. It's a huge shift from just driving traffic to actually driving influence.
Okay, so if the game has changed, we're going to need a new way to play, right? To win this new game of influence, we need a whole new discipline built for this new reality. So, let's talk about GEO.
So what on earth is GEO? It stands for Generative Engine Optimization. And, to put it simply, it's all the work you do to make sure that when an AI engine builds an answer, it's using your brand's expertise, your data, and your story as the fundamental building blocks.
Okay, this slide just breaks it down perfectly. With old-school SEO, the goal was simple: get clicks. But with GEO, the goal is to become the cited source. The platform we're targeting isn't just the search results page anymore. It's the AI answer engine itself. And because of that, our metrics have to change, moving away from things like traffic and click-through rate to things like citations and brand mentions. It is a whole new ballgame.
All right, so how do you actually win at this thing? Well, it's not about tricking some algorithm. Winning at GEO is all about actively building and signaling your authority in a way that an AI can actually understand and, more importantly, trust.
So how do these AI engines even decide who to trust in the first place? Well, they rely on a framework that Google's been using for years, EEAT. It stands for Experience, Expertise, Authoritativeness, and Trustworthiness. You could basically think of it as the AI's checklist for figuring out if you're a credible, reliable source that can feel good about citing.
So how do you prove you've got this EEAT thing down? It really comes down to these 4 pillars. First, you've got to create conversational content that just directly answers people's questions. Second, you need to build deep topical authority on a subject. Third, you structure data so that AI can understand your content perfectly. And fourth, you have to earn those authority backlinks from other trusted sources.
Now, what's so great about this slide is how practical it is. These are the exact content formats that AI engines just love. Why? Because they're perfectly structured for them to pull out information. Direct comparisons, detailed FAQs, best of lists. They literally mirror the way people ask questions, which makes them primetime candidates for getting cited.
A new game means we need a new scoreboard, right? If we're not just chasing clicks anymore, how do we actually measure success? How do we know if our GEO strategy is even working?
And the first thing you have to understand is that the old dashboard is becoming dangerously misleading. I mean, if you're still relying only on organic traffic or keyword rankings in a zero-click world, you could have a false sense of security while your actual influence is just fading away.
Instead, we need a whole new suite of metrics. We've got to start tracking AI citations. How often are we the source? Brand mentions. How often is our name even part of the conversation? Share of voice. How do we stack up against our competitors? And sentiment. Is the AI talking about us in a positive way? You see, the focus shifts from just measuring traffic to actually measuring authority.
Now, this brings us to a really fascinating new metric called the mention citation gap. Okay, here's what happens. An AI might say something like, a lot of people really like brand X,
but then the little source link it provides goes to your competitor's website. Ouch. It's a really critical moment where things went wrong.
But here's the crucial point. This gap isn't just a failure, it's a gift. Seriously, it's a data-driven roadmap for your content team. It's basically telling you, hey, the AI already knows you're relevant for this topic, but it doesn't trust your content enough to actually cite it. It shows you exactly where you need to go build more authority.
So let's bring all this together. This whole shift to AI search, it's not some fad. It's the future of how people get information. And in that future, visibility is just a byproduct of one thing and one thing only: authority.
Now look, this is not an overnight fix, but the feedback loop is actually way faster than old-school SEO. In the first 30 to 90 days, you can start to see those early wins, those initial citations. But the real goal, looking at 6 months and beyond, is to build a durable, lasting advantage as the go-to authority in your field.
I love this quote from the source material because it just sums up the whole thing perfectly. We have to stop thinking of this as a battle for visibility on a results page. This is now a campaign to establish your brand's digital authority in the mind of the AI.
And that really leaves us with one final crucial question you need to ask yourself. Look at your current strategy, at your content, at your goals. Are you building a brand for temporary visibility, or are you building it for lasting authority? Because in the age of AI, the answer to that question is going to determine your future.